Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or are you just happy to see me?
Hello, everybody. We are back talking the sequel, the direct sequel to Blade, Blade 2. I mean, technically it is a trilogy. There are 3 movies, but we kind of ignore the fact that Blade Trinity happened. And just basically, it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie, but if you don't watch it, you're not exactly missing anything.
Good concept, bad delivery.
Essentially, yeah. Basically, good in theory, bad in execution.
Yeah.
So basically, we're just, like I said, it's not bad. It's not bad. We kind of ignore the fact that there is a third Blade movie and just talk about Blade 2, which I think, arguably is basically, as with franchises, the first movie is a setup, so there's not a lot of action. A lot of it is basically an origin story for the most part. Whereas Blade 2, much like other franchises, very action heavy. It's like now they basically learned from the first one as far as the fight choreography, and I think the fight scenes were improved in Blade 2. You have more characters, you have a bit of more growth with Blade in terms of character development, and an interesting concept of a villain, especially since they were unable to use Morbius as a villain, which was the original plan, but then Marvel decided to say fuck you and sold the rights to another, basically another studio or something so they couldn't use it. That was basically this director got screwed over essentially. But anyway, before I say hello to the chat and we get into Blade 2, we're really going to be covering basically the 4 big parts of the movie. I'm not saying necessarily that there's anything necessarily to gloss over, but a lot of it before leading up to the initial nightclub scene is just build up, pretty much like understanding what exactly is going on, the introduction of the new characters to Blade's life, and then the action really picks up. The story really picks up when they go into this nightclub. But anyway, Orange Hat, let everybody know where they can find you and all that fun stuff.
Well, I'm right here, damn it. You can find me on my channel tomorrow, specifically for the prophetic discussion of Demolition Man and how it should never have been a prophesied event.
Like Idiocracy, that movie should never have been prescient.
Yeah.
1984 should never have been prescient.
Yeah. And then we also are Friday. I am doing Orange Hat Uncensored on my channel. Going to discuss some rather insane topics. Also Sunday, I'm thinking about doing a Star Wars Saturday stream to celebrate the original 6 and the only 6 films of Star Wars. My love for them and whatnot. Thinking about that, or I might just do it as this weekly recap on Sunday with Nerd with a Cigar, which is at 8 p.m. Tuesday will be my final thoughts on Star Wars for the month of May. I will be giving my thoughts on the Disney lore. And, Tuesday night, I will be doing my, the Barroom podcast on Society Reviews channel. We just got done doing 100 episodes. We're now on to 101 next week. So, yeah, that's where you can find me, plus content here and there.
Cool. And obviously, you can find me here. You can also find me occasionally. I do show back up on my Twitch, especially since Kick is showing that they're kind of becoming Twitch 2.0. Not as bad in some concepts as Twitch, but arguably they are not that much better than Twitch. However, I stick with Kick because unlike Twitch, you get a better payout if you choose to basically subscribe to my channel. That's the one big thing Kick has over Twitch right now is basically the ratio of pay, what Kick keeps versus what the streamer gets.
Oh, nice.
And so yeah, obviously tomorrow I'll be on Orange Chat's channel, but Friday I'm going to try to be on my Kick channel playing some more X-Defiance. Definitely not a Call of Duty killer. It's fun, but primarily fun when you're playing with other people and you're able to basically talk and bullshit back and forth. Otherwise, it's just an FPS multiplayer game, pretty much. So it's nothing really special to it. And then Saturday on my Discord, and I'll go back over this whenever I do my outro. Not planning on going live. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I'm definitely planning a watch party for the King of the Ring wrestling event, which is there's maybe one or two things I'm interested in watching in that event, but for the most parts, I just want to watch it to see where the storylines go, as far as the characters, whatnot, pretty much. So that'll be on my Discord, probably about between 5:30 and 6 p.m. Eastern, depending on when the event itself ends, because it starts at 1 p.m. Eastern. So, but from the top, I see Trey. Hello, says the Reapers were a neat villain. I love how much Blade punked out Ron Perlman. Yes, that's right. But I don't fear the Reapers. I feel like it would have been interesting to see, because Morbius is an actual Marvel character, so it would have been interesting to see Blade pitted against Morbius. However, I think the plan B, with the introduction of the Reapers and the evolution, so to speak, of the virus which causes vampirism, I think was basically I'd say arguably a more interesting concept. As much as I would like to see Morbius in the Blade universe, this I thought was incredibly unique concept, and I think arguably made the sequel overall a better film than the first one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so exciting! I love when he does that, because Ron Perlman. We'll go into the but Ron Perlman apparently based his character off of a neo-Nazi. Shocker. And so I love so basically that added how he developed his character, and the fact that when he asks Blade, "Do you blush?"
Yeah,
that's based on an actual incident, according to Wesley Snipes, that happened to him in real life. He was asked that question by someone, so he had them add that to the script with Ron Perlman's character to build on the antagonism between the two characters. So you have basically the basis on a neo-Nazi and a real-life incident kind of combined in Ron Perlman's character with the back and forth. So, Jaluk will be lurking. No worries. No worries. Gravy D is a movie where Blade hunts the Lost Boys. Yes. You know, that would actually be an interesting crossover, if you think about it. That
would have been, yeah.
That would have been a very interesting crossover. Blade hunting down the Lost Boys. Yeah. By Lost Boys, I don't mean Peter Pan's Lost Boys. I mean 1987 Lost Boys. I don't want some idiot coming into my chat going you want them to hunt down kids. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Why not? If they're vampires.
If they're vampires, yeah. Horror movie enthusiasts talking about the 1987 film Lost Boys.
They live forever.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Nobody's supposed to live forever.
And this is my Discord, where I do occasionally do watch parties, and basically I have also a gaming voice channel. So whenever I do streams or just hang out on my Discord and sharing my whatever game we're playing, that's what we do over there pretty much. And the wrestling section seems to get the most traction on my Discord. No Blade 2 cosplay, however, I would be cool to Nisa's outfits. It's other than Vermaine, she's really the only other female character in this movie. Although I feel it's yes, I know we'll talk about these characters, and yes, I know they were pretty much fodder. I wish at least two others had been used more, and that is Tony Karanes, Priest, and Donnie Yen. You have those two in your movie, and it's if there's one criticism I have, it's a gripe. You have those two in your movie, and you don't do much with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's
one big gripe.
It's he has a good line. Why don't we just fucking kill everyone just to be sure?
I know he has a good line. That's why I'm
But they made him such a pussy after.
I know. I'm saying it's like then he's like he's easily taken down by one of the Reapers. I'm like that's what I'm saying. Like that's my one gripe. You have those two actors in your movie. Donnie Yen he does the fight choreography for this movie, and we'll get into this, but like spoiler alert because we're going to spoilers. Tony Curran's priest is easily taken out by a Reaper.
Yeah,
and then Donnie Yen's killed off screen.
I mean, at least they respected Tony Curran later on when they made him Marcus.
Yeah. So
I mean, he got his moment just in a different movie.
So he was also in 13th Warrior, and I believe, if I remember correctly, even though you don't see him technically, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I believe he played the Invisible Man.
Yes, he did.
Technically, you don't see him, but he's he's in the movie.
Hello, my freaky darlings.
Yes, I know. I loved him. You don't like he was so good.
He puts on the face paint in a couple of scenes.
He does,
that's
but then if you think about it, whenever he like throws the water on his face and he disrobes, he's running around naked.
Yeah, and I love that. It's like, by the way, I should let you know that I am naked out in the Arctic.
I love that.
And I can't feel anything, and I mean anything.
Yeah, I think that it's just like one of the only movies I think I've ever seen where that's acknowledged.
Yeah.
The fact that whenever he is invisible, he's actually naked. But yes, we were a little bit late, Gravy. We were a little bit late, but hello, Gravy and Mike Hill.
There's a
Abomination.
reason,
What is
folks.
up? I think I skipped through. Keely, good to see you. Hi. I couldn't remember if I said hello to you or not. Making sure I don't miss any of my dinner bells. You killed my father. Your ass is mine. Wait, that's all, boy. Actually, there is a little Hellboy Easter egg of sorts, because the shirt Scud is wearing is the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense, which is from Hellboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically there is a little Hellboy Easter egg, other than Ron Perlman, obviously, but a little bit another Easter egg in this movie tied to Hellboy.
And by the way, folks, there's a reason why we're late. He's a woman.
Yes, so technically.
It's her fault.
Conroy, hello. Not technically that I'm a woman, fucker. Technically that's because I'm late.
Yeah, it's her fault.
Blade Vampires explained. Yeah, basically it makes sense having it be a virus. So whenever they introduce these new villains, you have the concept of a virus for what we're led to believe evolving.
It is interesting how the Reaper strain is designed and how they use the jaw mandibles or the mandible side open up for the next one, but they kind of evolve or upgrade it for Dracula. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah. I was just reading where is it? Okay, the idea of the Reapers having stingers come out of the mouth were inspired by Polish folk tales where the vampires had a stinger or quote unquote finger coming out of the mouth that they used to suck blood rather than use teeth, like the Balkan genus that is the greatest influence on the modern vampire mythology. So that's kind of like based on Polish folklore.
They're gonna finger you with your mouths, man.
Yes. Finger. They're fingering the hole.
Yeah.
Calix,
gotta ask a woman how that feels.
That's for another stream, ladies and gentlemen, not this one.
Is it oral or digital?
So, you know what? I feel like I need to get the clip from El Dorado where they're saying both. Both is good. I need to get that clip.
Yeah, definitely.
By be real, since Drake has it, yeah. So I mean, like a lot of I think a lot of what was set up in 2 was kind of forgotten about a little bit in the third one, but it's interesting when they bringing in Dracula because Dracula is the big bad, but
it makes sense as well.
Yeah,
the split mandible because it was a trait of vampirism.
Yes. So no worries, Mason. No worries. Welcome. So sometimes people just need a break. I've seen all three. I've seen all three Blades too. I have all three Blades.
Yep.
I'm
same.
again. I'm not saying that the third one is bad. I'm just saying it's not exactly. You're not, in
Unrated's
my
better.
opinion, not exactly missing anything if you don't watch it. There's
Sure.
good parts to it.
Yeah.
There's good parts to it, but in comparison to the first two, it's not as good.
I love that. You want to kiss me, pretty boy? Then it's like, dude, no.
No worries, Susan Ronan. Good to see you.
Yeah,
Let's see. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's my gripe. You have Tony Curran and Donnie Yen in the movie, and I feel like, yes, I know those characters aren't supposed to be like, developed necessarily because they're technically supposed to be fodder. It's a Blade movie. Like, you can't exactly focus on all the characters, but again, I would have loved to have seen more of his character. Would have liked to have seen Priest go out actually fighting, not getting his ass kicked by Reaper.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. This was
Thank you. Yes, you have Tracy Lords. She's given credit in the opening scenes. You see her name, and she's killed in that scene.
Yeah. Then it's like, but in this one, all freaking what's his name is good for the one who played Priest, Tony Curran.
Yeah.
Is good for. Couple good lines, then nothing but It's like,
I know,
dude, shut up.
Yeah,
I mean,
people
I
need to
could
watch
understand
movies. Yeah,
I could understand why Ron Perlman wanted him to, or somebody to kill him at that point. It's because he was doing nothing but screaming.
I mean, it depends on how often the vampire needs to bite you. It could be a 3 whole day.
Yeah. Oh, Donnie Yen's getting his John Wick spinoff.
Hey,
apparently.
Michael's Asylum. Good to see you. Triple H. Yes, he pretty much was a jobber in the third movie. He pretty much was a jobber.
Best part of the Triple H's involvement in that movie was when he died.
So they don't say anything specific about Donnie Yen's character other than his name.
He's a
Snowman.
mute.
So they don't say you had to kind of infer that.
Yeah, it's inferred that he's basically Vow of Silence.
Yes.
Pure
Well,
blood.
I mean, at least at the very least a vow of silence, but they don't outright say or anything about his character other than his name. So you're left to infer that he's either chosen to be silent for whatever reason or he's mute. I don't think he's deaf, but mute.
My fan fiction, he doesn't talk unless it's only purebloods around, so he can't be heard.
Maybe
He doesn't talk to anybody but purebloods.
Yeah, because he's obviously able to hear the Reapers, so he's able to fight.
Yeah.
But he doesn't talk. Oh yeah, the Pomeranian dog vampire. Yeah, and it had the same mouth as the Reapers, which makes total sense.
Those tongues, though, man, I was not a fan of.
No, but anyway,
They kind of looked, rather phallic.
I think we'll actually get into Blade 2. We'll actually get into Blade 2, but here's my little theory with John Wick 5. I'm not exactly happy they're doing a John Wick 5 because I think they wrapped it up perfectly with 4. But two things need to happen. One thing needs to happen. This definitely has to be the last one.
Yes.
Definitely has to be the last one in my opinion. If they go beyond 5, I'm like, okay, now you're just milking it.
The table dies.
Yeah, they need to end it at 5. All right. I don't care what fucking Mazda says about 5 being the best one. They need to end it. All right. And then second thing that my little theory that I can see happening if they're going to make a end is that John Wick goes after the high table.
Yeah,
ends
the high
it
table needs to end.
Yeah, ends it once and for all, pretty much. If they do that, okay, then I can see do a 5 and then it ends it once and for all, and he's finally free.
But then again, it's redundant because again, as he says, or as Winston tells him, they'll have somebody replacing them as before the body's even cold. Not to mention, he won his freedom, so it doesn't matter. Blade 2.
So, and I'm saying just if he does that, then I'm not saying necessarily that I'll be happy, but it has to be the last one. It has to be the
Me?
last one.
I am in the camp of John Wick Chapter 4 is the final chapter because anything else is redundant.
So that's what I'm thinking they're going to do. They'll have to make it make sense, but that's what I think they're going to have them do.
Hopefully.
But anyway,
Because Anyway.
so
This is a Blade 2 discussion, people. God damn.
yeah, so I have it on this scene because this is pretty much before the credits even start rolling. This is like the setup for the villain, or like like at least the main villain in this movie, Jared Nomak.
Yeah.
He's going to this blood bank there in Poland, I believe. I love how this dude is talking to him, like in the earlier scene. He's saying, "They don't care how many times you come in; they'll pay you every time, and they don't like you can just bring blood in." Sort of
Yeah,
situation.
they've accepted in the jar.
Sure.
It's like, the fuck?
Yes, and then you find out why. Pretty much, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
yeah,
It's
like
a
it
vampire.
makes sense.
Big.
No worries, Mikey. It makes sense when you find out, this is basically a den of vampires, and this is how they you basically obtain blood for their own supply. But they bring Nomak down to this special room because his blood is special.
Yeah.
His blood is very special.
They were going to
And-
harvest him.
Yes. So they're planning on basically bleeding him dry, harvesting him, and then doing away with his body. Pretty much, that's the plan. At least that's what they think is going to happen. So he's the main villain. So I wanted basically before we discuss kind of like what happens in the scene a little bit. What do you think of his character as compared to Deacon Frost?
This character is a character that has a clear purpose, like Deacon, but compared to Deacon, this is a guy who is, he's willing to kill the world, but what he really just wants is to kill kill his maker. Where Deacon Frost is a complete psychopath, Jared is not so much a psychopath, but he's willing to go psychopathy if he can't have what he wants, which is only to kill his father.
Yeah.
I mean,
we find out later, basically. But
yeah,
the only thing we know from this scene pretty much is that he hates vampires. He himself is a new strain of vampire.
Yeah.
But he hates vampires.
He was not, and also, folks, he was grown in a vat. He was not essentially turned into a Reaper. He was born a Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first of the Reapers, which is basically Patient Zero. Also, I found out when I watched the movie last time, the woman is not a vampire. She's a familiar. Because that guy is a vampire, the one who's talking because he shows his fangs and whatnot. But it's like the woman, I thought she was a vampire, but it turns out she was just a familiar. Which was essentially going to get her turned after turning in Jared. Yeah. Frost was the best.
I think Nomak could have killed Frost. I think Nomak could have killed Frost.
Nomak would have killed Frost. Even as Lamagra, he would have killed Frost because he would have turned Frost. Then or imagine Lamagra Frost turned into a Reaper. That's a creepy thought.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, I'm having nightmares right now and I'm awake. Just thinking about that. Could Morbius kill Nomak? No.
No, this is a. It's one of the situations where it's like I'd have to really think about it, because I think Morbius could put up a fight.
Yes.
I think he could put up a fight, but could he ultimately beat him? I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
The thing is, folks, a lot of people don't realize this. Nomak is stronger than Blade, physically stronger than Blade. And it's only through dint of knowledge and luck that Blade kills Nomak. I mean, Blade got his ass kicked in this movie.
Yes. Which is why I think basically the fight scenes overall are better. It's not just because of the design and choreography. The fight scenes are overall better because Nomak is such a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Physically and mentally to Blade, where like he is a challenge. Whereas Deacon
Yeah.
Frost, as much as I like Stephen Dorff, as Deacon, like he did a really good job.
Yeah.
He really, other than like the La Magra ritual,
Yeah.
he really wasn't a threat to Blade.
He was a fucking maniac. What he
Yeah, I'm
calls
saying,
Blade.
but like I wouldn't call him a threat. He was
No.
a thorn in his side. Yes, he had to be taken out. He was
Yeah.
a problem to even the vampire community,
Yeah.
but he wasn't a threat. And
In
they
this
even
one.
acknowledge that in this
Yeah.
movie, like like you took out Deacon, like thank you, because
Yeah, I thank you for what? Taking out Deacon Frost. You did us a favor.
yeah. So
Because he was going to, or he was, Deacon didn't care if they were exposed or if the vampires were exposed.
mhm.
He was willing to expose them for his own gains.
Yeah,
And it's like,
Wanna get-
didn't work exactly. But yeah, I love that.
yeah. I just love this shot
I hate
where he's looking up at the
vampires.
security camera because he knows he's obviously he doesn't care he's being watched. He's like in these vampires. I hate vampires, and I will be right back. So I need to let my dog out of the room, so I'm just gonna
Okey-dokey.
stop my camera. But yeah, so I'm just gonna like fast forward because
Yeah.
I'm just gonna fast forward to this part because
Oh, yeah.
we have Blade rescuing
Yeah.
Whistler. So I'll come back and we'll talk about Whistler's return and how it makes sense.
Yeah. Dracula proved later that he could take out any of the would-be vampire or vampires. Sure. But also, Drake in the third one basically didn't care about the vampire cause. He was just done with it. He had no use for it. It's like, dude, you shouldn't have woke me. I don't give a fuck why or what you guys are going through. I don't give a fuck about your cause. And he's like, or because he even asked her, why should I care? Your people need you. My people. I don't fucking care about my people. That's basically Drake. But in this one, Nomak, he wanted to die, but he also wanted to. He wants to die, but he also wants to live. There's conflict in Nomak. That's what I like about it, guys.
Oh yeah, no.
So,
We'll talk more about that because especially since again throughout the movie we're kind of led to believe that it's just the virus evolving, but there's a lot more to Nomak's character. We find out later on, but
now the thing.
So with this one, basically, Whistler's returned because in the first one, we hear the gunshot go off because he was turned and he did not want to become one of them.
Yeah, unfortunately, he did turn.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I do like about this movie is that in the first movie, you see that Whistler does love Blade, but in this one, there leaves no doubt that it's like, or the dynamic between Whistler and Blade in this one is very much father-son.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also Blade is or has gone a couple of years without Whistler, so he has grown.
Yes.
And he's willing to look after Whistler, even though Whistler has helped Blade originally.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So technically he did like turning, you do die, essentially, and then come back.
Yeah.
But he tried basically, he wanted to kill himself before he turned, but
Yeah.
he was a little too late. He's a little too late, and the vampires found him. And because of his connection to Blade, basically, they kept him in a vat of blood.
Yeah, they wanted to know information, or they
to
wanted to know
basically
things.
everything they could about Blade. So they kind of like basically held him prisoner for 2 years.
Yeah.
So in that 2
And I love
years,
that.
yeah. So in that
Yeah,
2
I love
years,
the line he gives. Bastards could have at least fixed my leg, though.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. So in that 2 years, and we'll kind of like he meets Norman Reedus' character Scud.
Yeah.
Who kind of takes over essentially the tech element
Yeah.
of this. So not sure what his background is, where he's able to do this, like basically coming up with UV grenades. But okay, suspend disbelief. Suspend disbelief. He's able.
I mean,
to
you got to basically. It's called powers of reasonable deduction, folks. It's like maybe he had a freaking tech background, or he was a natural gearhead. I mean, believe it, or maybe he's also a freaking genius. Who knows?
Maybe.
I mean, he is, or he's a gearhead and shit. Probably has some mechanical genius in him. So, I mean, it's essentially an assumption game, but it's within reason, you know?
Hey, Charlie.
I also like the what he says to Whistler here, because it also shows that even though he cares about Whistler, he is willing to do what needs to be done, because he tells him in the morning those blinds are going to open, whether you're cured or not.
Mm-hmm. So, and then basically this kind of, when Whistler shows that he's cured.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Arguably like that, like tension, which I kind of like, because we have Whistler's old school, and Scud is, I wouldn't say Scud is new school, but like Scud is like basically the younger generation. So you have that dynamic butting heads with Blade in between.
Yeah,
because you have like Scud adding this what's it called, like nitrous oxide
aftermarket tune-up.
Yeah. And like Whistler's like, you know, like basically chastising him because it'll blow out the motor.
Yeah.
It's like where'd you find this asshole sort of situation?
Where'd you dig up this shitbird?
Yes. Yeah, so basically old gen versus new gen, pretty much. So basically, before we get into the meat of the plot, when this like happens, so what do you think about Scud?
Scud, I actually like his character. His character it brings a youthful twist to it. It's like this guy, or he does know his shit, but he's not he still has the fear to him. He's still new to the game, because when he sees the freaking Reapers, he's like, "Fuck, I'm out."
Yes.
But yeah, I really do like the character, especially the twist, which we'll get to later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do like, he's somebody who hasn't been properly disciplined by his parents. Let's just say that, because the way that he actually treats, it's like, the fuck's your problem, Poppy? Yeah. But yeah, I do like how, even though they kind of started off a little rough with each other, they end up actually starting to respect one another, so to speak.
Yeah, it's kind of like that line in Violent Night with where the grandmother's like, you know, when he was younger, I begged you to beat him. That's like the Scud's character. It's like, when he was younger, I begged you to beat him.
I begged you to beat him.
So, but yeah, I do like his character. I like his character. I did like the line later on when like Nisa's like, you know, you're not coming with us. He's like, oh no, I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Not a fighter. Yeah. I love that. No, I'm a lover, not a fighter. But then again, she freaking made him dig into the goddamn mouth of the freaking
because like Blade called it, you know, you see him like mouth sissy.
Yeah, it's like sissy. It's
like
dude,
he wants to hold the mouth open.
Yeah. It's like, fuck you, Blade, come on, man, sissy.
I just love that. Yeah. All right, but here is like basically the meat of the plot. Like I said, we're skipping over stuff. I'm going to skip over the scene where he's recruited, because you have these two vampires
that sneak in,
like arguably sneak into their headquarters. And okay, in their defense, yes, they were fired on first. So in their defense, they were fired on first. But they're coming basically as like an act of like a truce. Basically, we have a truce. Yeah. Like, we need your help, basically. So it's kind of like, you know, parlay.
Yeah.
So
parlay. God damn it.
I'm gonna try to get a shot of all.
Yeah, the blood pack.
I think this is close to getting a shot of all of them. Hold on. Other than Reinhardt, because Reinhardt's getting a bomb.
Oh yeah, you got to go back like keep going. I'll tell you when to stop. got to go back at least like 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, let me see.
And play it right here.
Okay, on.
4.
Okay, I'm gonna like start and stop.
The blood pack. Yeah.
Okay, I want to
Oh,
get like,
shit, they
both of them
don't-
to get a shot of all of
Yeah.
them
Well,
together.
you're gonna have to go, or you're gonna have to go for it just a tiny bit, because when he tells him to, all right, I'll give you a shot, and then he brings up the stake, you see all of them basically draw their weapons and shit.
Yeah,
Lighthammer, Verlaine. I love the name Verlaine.
yeah, Verlaine, and then Reinhardt. Basically, it goes Lighthammer, Verlaine, Priest, Snowman, Chupa, and Reinhardt. Reinhardt is the main of the Blood Pack. He's the main kind of antagonist to Blade. As I said, like, basically, Ron Perlman based his character off of a neo-Nazi, and well, it shows essentially.
I mean, he should have did his whole getup or his whole Reinhardt getup for Sons of Anarchy. I'm just saying, man.
Mhm.
Never saw the show, but pretty sure that it would have been perfect if he had done it like that. You know? Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, play it here. Or yeah, here.
I gotta start and stop because YouTube is
Yeah.
like it might trigger something.
Asshole.
Okay.
Boom. There
Okay,
you
so I'm
go.
gonna basically stop it there because I feel like if I play it, I might miss it basically.
Yeah.
So, Lighthammer here, Verlaine, Priest, played by Tony Curran, Chupa,
Yeah.
and Donnie Yen up here, Snowman.
Yep.
So again, arguably fodder. The only other one in this group that at least has something a bit more to his character than fodder is Chupa because of
Yeah.
his friendship with Reinhardt and his basically antagonism towards Blade and Whistler sort of situation. Because
Yeah.
Reinhardt and Chupa kind of like pair up whenever they split up going after the Reapers.
Yeah.
So I believe he is. But like I said,
Isn't
again,
Chupa the- Yes, that is him. That's what's his name?
hold on. I can highlight Matt Schultz.
Dominic Toretto's friend from the first and
Yeah.
1 and 5.
Yeah. And Tony
Yeah.
Curran's Priest. You have Assad. Basically, Assad was one of the vampires along with Nisa, who
Yeah.
wanted to see Blade for the truce.
Not gonna lie, had a crush on Nisa when I was younger.
I mean, she's actually like, really pretty. So,
Especially at the end. Her wardrobe at the end was pretty good.
and I love how they call them the Blood Pack.
Yeah.
And
And
basically, for the
I'm
past
willing to
2
bet-
years, they've been training to hunt Blade.
yeah.
But now there's a truce, so they have to take whatever skills they learned in hunting to hunt Blade to try hunting the Reapers.
There is a moment earlier when they're coming here and it's like, or Nisa's kind of amused and she's like, it's interesting. He came so willingly. Show her.
Yeah.
Opens up his jacket. Semtex. Enough to level a full city block. You're still disappointed. It's like, yeah, a real man would have brought enough to blow up 3 city blocks.
So, but yeah, like I said, I do wish, like again, this is an action movie. I just wish there was a little bit more to these, like at least some of these characters.
Yeah, they didn't have enough of their moments. I mean, Lighthammer, you actually got to see his Thor out and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Donnie Yen, you got to see his skill. Chupa's just a fucking hillbilly with teeth. Freaking Snowman is, or not Snowman, but Tony Curran's character,
Priest.
Priest is just, he's just a bitch with teeth, essentially. And
Mhm.
Verlaine, essentially just female, or she's basically a side piece for Lighthammer.
So, like I said, I wish there was just we don't exactly have to like necessarily have to go in depth with these characters.
Yeah.
But if I'm supposed to like again feel like at all anything if they die, because basically they're fighting the Reaper, so I'm technically supposed to root for them. I'd like a little bit more to their. I would have liked a little bit more to their characters, so I could maybe go, "Aw," you know. It's like
Yeah.
it sucks that they died. So
I mean, I always thought that they should have got freaking Vin Diesel as Lighthammer.
No.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit. It would have been like, we're not friends, we're family.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, moving on.
Anyway.
I had to tease her.
But so anyway, so like I said, like this is probably like my only gripe. Like you have Tony Curran and Donnie Yen in a movie. I would like to see just a little bit more.
Hmm?
I don't remember it having a Blood Hunt subtitle whenever it came out. Whenever I saw it, I just remember it as Blade 2.
Yeah.
So
What's a Blood Hunt subtitle?
yeah, I've never seen that subtitle. The only one that I've seen a subtitle to technically is Blade 3 because they call it Blade 3 Trinity.
Oh, yeah. Subtext or subtitle. Duh. What am I thinking?
So
Had a momentary lapse of retardation, folks.
yeah, I'm saying I don't feel anything when they die, especially like it's like I'd like to feel something.
Well, when I heard when Snowman bit it, it's like, oh come on, man! I was just starting to like him.
Yeah, especially because he dies off screen.
Yeah, and it's
you
like
don't see it.
He deserves to have his moment.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't he have his moment?
I don't know. I feel like basically that's why I feel like these two in particular, Priest and Snowman, those characters were wasted.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, I don't know why YouTube has that subtitle. I've never when it came out, I never saw a Blood Hunt subtitle to Blade 2.
Did they? Huh.
I don't remember seeing a subtitle to Blade 2 whenever it came out, unless it's it was just Blade 2.
Yeah, it was always just Blade 2 for me, man. That's weird. It's fucking weird.
Anyway, so I guess
moving on. Basically, this is the next big part. I'm gonna skip through basically the House of Pain. Yeah, I love that part there. He's like, oh god, it would just be so easy. He's got you.
So I'm gonna get to where they see the Reapers.
Yeah,
because the Reapers go after him while he's in the van. Yeah. Oh, it's basically a big clue that there's some connection to these characters because he doesn't kill her.
Yeah.
Which Blade acknowledged, why didn't he kill you?
Yeah.
Adding up. Yeah, reminded me of the Club in one, kind of, but at the same time, it's a bit more European, I guess, feeling. I don't know.
I mean, they're freaking opening arms up, backs up, spines up, and shit like this. They're freaking kissing with French kissing with razor blades and shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the House of Pain, folks. The House of Pain.
Unfortunately, this scene is so long. I can't exactly show different parts basically, but this is where again one of the big parts to this movie was this scene in the nightclub. And it's a pretty long part when you're watching it because it has a buildup of them arriving, looking for the Reapers. Because the reason why they're going to this nightclub is the Reapers are hunting vampires. Mm-hmm. The Reapers need to constantly feed. Whereas vampires can kind of yes, they have the hunger, but they can kind of control it. Reapers can't. Yeah. Reapers cannot control
pure animal instinct.
Yes. It's very much we're pretty much the primal instincts within the Reapers. Yes. So
and their Nosferatu look too. So yeah, that helps too.
Yeah. And so they basically they're trying to narrow down, okay, if they're going after vampires, we need a place where there's gonna be a lot of vampires. It'd be a good target for them. And the House of Pain nightclub.
Yeah.
Yeah. Haha, Jake, what?
Reapers are here. Where?
Yes. So
Halo reference.
You have this one. One in the kitchen. This is 3 or something like 3 along with Nomak because one goes after Priest. Snowman fights one.
I think there's 4.
Yeah, one in the kitchen, and then Chupa and Reinhardt go after one.
Yeah, there's 4 in house. The rest are out. out there going after Scud. But yeah, this one I think was the one that fights what's his name? Priest.
Yeah, I think. Hold on. No, he
It's
fights Snowman.
the Snowman one.
And
Yeah.
Donnie Yen was the fight choreographer for this movie. So I gotta play it. I love how he like starts his fights.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Bicycle kick.
Yeah. I love what he does with the sword.
Yeah. He tries pinning it.
Yeah. Boom. And when he grabs the sheath,
Yeah.
pulls the blade out.
Yep. That's the thing about Donnie Yen. I've noticed, or I've watched him with his martial arts study and whatnot. He's what's known as a person who uses the momentum, or he's a person that uses any situation to his advantage. He'll also create the moment to basically have that as well to take advantage of, like swinging the sword with the sheath.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good flourisher for the camera, but he's also a good martial artist in his own right as well.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him go up against Jet Li.
So, and I think like the fight scenes are better where it's like the first ones, like as much as I kind of like overall enjoy them, the sword choreography is better in this one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Much than it is in the first one. I don't know if it's because Donnie Yen was there to kind of like offer inputs, or they'd learned from the first one and not just had them like just swing back and forth with the sword. Actually, like go into like the different moves.
Yeah,
and angles.
A couple of flourishes here, down low. Okay, but back to the cross back and forth thing. It's like, that one was just hard to watch. And I love Blade 1, folks. Don't get me wrong, but that sword fight wasn't that good.
No. So, and we forgot to mention that like, on Scud's van are these UV lights, pretty much that he's was able to turn on basically to just drive away the Reapers. So the Reapers are attacking his van, and also Whistlers was told to stay out there because they're like you stick out. You're not going to blend in with us, pretty much.
No way you'll pass for.
So he's up, like he's supposed to be up on the rooftop with the sniper, and he leaves his post at one point, but we find out why. So
yeah,
and I love like basically this. It's like Reinhardt and Chupa don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Who gets hit in this scene, pretty much, because they're aiming at the Reaper and they kill like 1, 2, 3, like multiple vampires. They're trying to hide.
There's like 5 or 6 vampires or friendly fire dead.
Yeah.
Just to frickin' piss off one Reaper.
Yes. I'm trying to see.
Well, you should have got the fuck out of the way.
I'm trying to see. Did I miss the priest?
Oh, he's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, right here.
Right here.
So.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, he does throw a few punches, but for the most part, like I said, he's supposed to be part of the Blood Pack, and yes, I know they're originally being trained to hunt Blade, but I'm like, you see Snowman fighting, you see Reinhardt and Chupa, you see their skills, you see Lighthammer's skills with his hammer. You don't really see Verlaine. She comes in shooting to save Lighthammer at one point, but for the most part, you don't really see her. However, Priests, I'm like, you've been training for 2 years,
and you're supposedly a pureblood.
Yes, and he's the one that was like, let's just kill everyone in here just to be safe. He didn't
these
give a
bastards
fuck.
aren't even purebloods. Yeah.
All right, and then he gets his ass kicked. That's again, like if I would have like a gripe about this movie, it's this, like these two characters.
Yeah.
Hello, Squibs. Read one of my tweets. Thank you.
Well, got a fan, Mara.
Yeah. So he tried fighting back. He got a few punches in. I'm saying that he got a few punches in, but I'm like, I know he's fighting Reaper, but he's supposed to be a pureblood, and purebloods are supposed to be stronger than those who are just turned.
Yeah, they don't have, or their pain receptors are quite muted.
Yes. So, but like I said, like he goes out so easily.
Yeah.
And not only goes out so easily, he's bitten and so like he's in the process of
He's
turning
turning it
very rapidly. So I'm
within
like, I
20
would like,
minutes.
yeah. So I'm like, I would have liked to have seen again, like like him actually being able to fight. I like
Yeah.
if he died, but if he died going down fighting, then I probably wouldn't have like griped so much because then it would have been like I felt like a waste of his character.
Yeah.
But here, like I said, it's like feels like a waste. I wanted to see more of his character. I wanted to see more of Snowman's character. I mean, Reinhardt and Chupa obviously like because they are kind of like the main antagonists in this group, and the other two are kind of like just whatever, pretty much.
Yeah, Perlman didn't put up a fight, but he played it smart though.
Mm-hmm. So it's like one of the situations where it's like Reinhardt didn't exactly put up much of a fight, but at the same time, it's like there was more to that scene I felt, than this.
He's blasting them with frickin' shotguns, and it's like, well, shit, Silver's not doing jack, boy. Don't waste the bullets.
Yeah.
But I don't think Chupa heard because he's like, motherfucker just keeps on unloading with I love the double drum clip.
He either didn't hear or he just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because he's basically his singular mission is to take out this one
on the
Reaper, and he doesn't care how many bullets he uses, and like if he kills any other vampires.
Yeah.
I think at that point he just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he didn't.
He
was in full hillbilly mode.
Yeah. So I'm gonna see if I can show. Okay, so.
Oh yeah,
So Nomak. So basically, Blade fights Nomak. The first fight, we're gonna kind of skip over that because of the second one. Like the second one is like the actual like crucial one.
Although the first one does give us some information that EDTA, which was used in the first movie, which destroys vampires, doesn't work on these guys. Or at least
because we kind of skipped over the tech savviness of Scud. He developed these wristlets.
Yeah.
That had the anticoagulant in them.
Yeah.
So basically, like you get some like, good punches in, it injects the vampire with the anticoagulant, and it would have the same effect that we saw in the first movie. However, basically the evolved virus, so to speak, basically is able to fight off the anticoagulant.
Yeah.
So that they don't work.
Yeah, I love how it travels up the dude's head, and he's like, "Ah!"
Yeah,
and then he just laughs it off.
Yes, and then like just like he's back to his like has a look only a mother could love.
Oh yeah.
So, which again, like I kind of like did not mention the fact that Luke Goss plays Nomak, and as much as I like Stephen Dorff as Deacon Frost, I did like Luke Goss's portrayal as Nomak.
Yeah, Nomak's the better villain.
Yeah.
And Goss worked with Guillermo del Toro in Hellboy 2.
Yeah, he was. What was his character's name? He was a villain in that as well.
Yep. Because of his martial arts background.
Mm-hmm. Mainly because he's evil. True. Yeah. True. Like Deacon Frost is of the two he's the more evil one.
He's chaos.
However, in terms of like overall. Like and basically in English, there's what's called a round character and a flat character.
Yeah.
Whereas a flat character only really has one really main aspect to that character. There's really not much to it. So that would be more like Deacon Frost. I'm not saying it's like necessarily a bad thing, but only like really one element to that character which stands out. Whereas a round character has multiple elements to that character, which fleshes that character out a lot more, which makes them more interesting. And that's what I would equate Nomak to.
Yeah. Nomak's a victim as much as a perpetrator, or as much as a villain.
Which that makes me find him more fascinating. Again, I love Deacon Frost. I love Stephen Dorff's character because Deacon Frost he's more evil. He's
chaos.
Crazy. He's more maniacal. But that's like really the only facet to his character is like him wanting basically to turn humans into cattle, whereas Nomak has that multi-layered elements to his character, which gives him more depth, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm like basically I don't know if I can stop on the scene because they find out there's really only one way to kill these vampires.
Yeah.
And I think this is about here. Hold on.
Yeah, it's
Like he's turning, you see the split happening.
yeah.
And they're trying to shoot him, and it's not working because he's just healing. Nothing's working. So basically, Blade is like,
Did you get it? You can't finish him that
okay,
way.
and like basically Blade holds him down. And he's like, move.
It's like,
And then just only thing is gun behind him.
Yeah.
That's it.
And they get the blue send off instead of
Reinhardt. You see the sword there. He tried slicing through Priest's head because that part is there. This really made the scene so creepy.
Yeah, because the fucking head's still alive.
Because half that head is still alive. The eyes moving. It's like, dear God, just kick it into the sunlight. God damn, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Just like soccer, just like soccer ball, tap it into the sunlight. Into the sunlight.
Like yeah, it's like, oh dear, damn, dude. These things have minimal brain function.
Yeah.
Pure
like,
freaking
right here.
Instinct.
That body explodes. And then this part, just like when I first saw it, I was like, and then I saw the eye move. I was like, I'm just, it's like gross sound.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, shit.
I mean, it's fascinating, but it's like so gross to see the eye moving. It's like no, it's like it's just.
Yeah. It's like, hey,
but anyway, that's where they find out that the only thing that can really kill these creatures is sunlight.
Yep.
Which we then find out kind of why Whistler left his post, and that is he said like had some Reaper action on the roof. So I followed these these fucks down here. This one tried getting through, was a little late, got his arm caught. Now he's basically feeding on himself.
Yeah.
So and somehow they are able to deduce that he's dying, and we find out it's the security guard from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, the blood
one that was in that room where like Nomak is ostensibly going to be like drained of his blood.
Yep.
Definitely body horror, yes.
And
it's the guard.
Yeah, and he's dying, or you could see that he's dying because he's acting very sluggish. He's just looking at it, he's essentially a dying cornered animal.
Yes.
Or barking, hissing, not much else to him left.
No. And they're basically ready to kill him, but Nisa's like, we need to study this. We're not going to get an opportunity like this again to try to figure out how to kill these Reapers. And like, what better way to try to figure that out is to actually perform an autopsy on their on the body to see what defense mechanisms they have. Because why isn't garlic working? Why isn't silver working on these creatures?
Yeah. Which
is like what gets to the scene that, like I said, like I love, and that's like, she's telling Scud, open the mouth.
Open the mouth, Scud.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yes, like
open.
Like Blade, come on, man. They're like, Blade, come on, man. They're like,
sissy.
So.
But yeah, it's.
Oh, this is like real fast. We kind of skipped over like the Damaskino and Coonan. Coonan is the familiar, basically.
Lawyer.
To Damaskino, the lawyer, and I do like the line that he has where Blade is like, "You're human."
You're human.
It's like, oh, kind of. I'm a lawyer. So it's like he's like,
I'm a lawyer.
An old jab at attorneys.
Yeah. Soulless bloodsuckers.
So basically, Coonan is familiar, and Damaskino is the patriarch of this family. Essentially, when I say family, I mean like Nisa's his daughter.
Yeah.
Hey, hello, Lore. Blade 2 the best. Yeah,
I do like Damaskinos though.
Yeah.
Because Damaskinos, he's like, how many are you willing to sacrifice? Even your own daughter? Everyone.
Yes.
Because he even tells her later on, it's like, these blood ties mean nothing to me when measured against the ascendancy of our race.
Yeah,
I am willing.
We'll get into why he's saying that. It's because we find out that, again, spoiler alert, that this is not just a virus evolved.
Yeah.
There's actually some monkeying around with DNA.
Yeah.
By Damaskino, essentially, and that's like what's happening pretty much. But he is like a singular purpose, pretty much. Like the reason why he did is because of he's trying to create the perfect vampire. Yeah. He's looking at Blade because they were studying Blade for 2 years. He's looking at Blade going, like the only weakness, because Blade acknowledges at the beginning, the only weakness he has is the thirst. Otherwise, he can walk in sunlight. Garlic has no effect on him. Silver has no effect on him. Like, basically, he's all the vampire strengths and none of the weaknesses. So Damaskino's looking at him, like, I want to emulate this, but within vampires themselves. Like, how is he able to do this? Like, what happened? Like, what exactly happens? Like in his genes. What happened when he was born? Like, what got passed along that now he has these abilities? But this one here makes sense. In this instance, in this movie, it makes more sense than in the first one. In the first one, I'm like, there was no line that indicated at all that they needed a damn pure blood. So I was like, why do they need his blood? If they had just had a line where it's like in the ancient text, the last ritual was performed with the Dhampir, and that's why they couldn't perform the ritual until conveniently now because Blade happens to be a Dhampir, basically, right? That would make sense, pretty much. All right, that's why they need his blood. But they didn't really establish the why in the first movie, just that they need his blood. In this case, this makes sense because they actually want to study his blood because of the fact that Damaskino wants to create the perfect race of vampire, and by perfect race of vampire, he wants to emulate what Blade is able to do, and that is walk around in the daylight. Be like, have like garlic have no effect on them. Silver have no effect on them, basically. Creates the perfect race.
I mean, you can't just keep going around biting a bunch of pregnant women or about to pop. Just doesn't work that way.
No. So like basically Blade is this anomaly that they need to study. And in this case, in this movie, it makes sense why they need to like his blood.
Yeah. Because
it actually needs to be studied. Whereas the first one, I'm like, out of convenience, why?
Yeah,
I don't know. Like he's the anti-vampire, so like it's like you study one thing to understand why it's opposite of one thing, and when you figure that out, you can maybe emulate that in the other thing. That's why they want genes, folks. That's the beauty of it.
There's only one other character that is sort of like Blade, that sort of has all the strengths and the weaknesses kind of thing in Marvel, and that's Anti-Venom from Marvel, where he had, or the white symbiote that's basically built from cured cells. Which is interesting because he can also destroy symbiotes, or he's basically the symbiote slayer, where Blade is a vampire slayer.
Yeah. So this is like the autopsy.
Yeah.
Keeps moving on, like Nisa studying it since.
I've actually seen that, folks. The whole pull the leg off a spider thing. There was a daddy long leg one time. Fun little story here. There was a daddy long leg in my room that was trying to get away from other or dangerous area, and I tried grabbing it, and it detached its leg as a defense mechanism. That leg kept going for 48 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I watched it and I brought it in and stuff. It's like, I'm curious. At that point, it's like, this was around 8 or 9 years ago. And it's like, I'm just curious about it, And I'd take a look at it. It was just so freaking fascinating because it's like 48 minutes. It was nuts. But yeah, that's this thing, freaking heart encased in bone.
Yeah, that's why they can't just stake it. It has to be basically impaled at a certain angle because it has that defense mechanism around it.
Well, yeah, snakes have what's known as muscle memory. So yeah, they're still receiving signals even though the brain is dead. I mean, you cut off a snake's head and put something near its head, it will open up the bite. I just saw that recently. That was creepy as fuck.
No, Gravy, no.
Should have videotaped it. No. This was long before I even met Mara.
Yeah. So.
It was like 2009, 10ish, 2011.
Like I said, I found the scene fascinating because this is how they deduce.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sunlight is really the only really definite way to kill the Reapers, because unless you're able to get close and get a good hit at an angle, you're not getting a stake in the heart. Garlic doesn't work. Silver doesn't work. Anticoagulant doesn't work.
Yeah.
And these Reapers have to be stopped now because, as indicated in the beginning of the movie, where they kind of like explained essentially to Blade that like
They'll spread
you can't,
beyond.
you can't ignore them. It's not like
Yeah.
us vampires where it's like you kill one or two of us and like it's or anything like that, and nothing really changes. Changes. This
It's
the
wildfire.
Reapers, yeah, it's like basically one one kill turns one, those two turn
Two,
two
more
and multiply. It multiplies, and they're going after vampires now. And he's like, and once they're through with us, whom do you think they're going to turn to next?
You're
Like
precious.
because they just need to feed. That's like it's like pure animal instincts. They have like no thought process other than I need to feed.
Yep.
So they're kind of like zombies, basically, but like more of a sentientness to it.
Yeah.
Or-
Nomac's been up for 72 hours,
Yeah.
and already there's a dozen Reapers.
yes.
By the end of the week, there'll be hundreds, thousands by the end of the month. Do the math.
So
Also, I like how Damaskinos
And then-
is just having a snack, which is basically congealed blood.
yeah, and he has a
I mean,
blood
it's like-
bath, literally.
Yeah, and then he takes a blood bath, and I'm thinking to myself, how did he make the blood like look like cranberry sauce?
I don't know.
I mean, it's.
yeah.
I have
It
questions.
just makes me want Jello, pretty much.
Right?
Snacking him on that. It just makes me want Jello.
Yeah.
And yes, they
Like
have to feed every
cranberry?
few hours. So basically, that's why like there's the multiplier action. So it's not like vampires; they feed once and they're kind of satiated until their next feeding. Pretty much, like Reapers, pretty like every few hours have to feed, and
Yeah.
if they can't find a victim, they start feeding on themselves.
Yep.
So I'm saying like that. That's like again, I think like the plot in this movie is arguably better. I mean, I do enjoy the first movie, but I think the plot in this one is arguably better than the first one.
Yes.
Because it just adds so many layers to the vampire lore within the universe, and it actually makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing if it sticks in the second movie. No, like they actually did their homework, sat down, and like okay, if we're gonna go this route, it has to make sense. So what's gonna make sense? Like they flesh it out. No pun intended.
This is a movie in which the sequel does surpass the original.
Yeah. It's one of like the few instances where it's like, because most times I prefer the first movie just because like the first movie in terms of tone is my preference. Like for example, Alien and Aliens. Like Aliens is a good movie. I'm not taking that away from it. But Alien is more psychological horror thriller.
Yeah.
And Aliens is sci-fi action. So it really all depends on preference. I prefer Alien because I prefer the tone of the first movie.
Yeah.
That's typically like it doesn't necessarily mean it might better. I just prefer it. In this case, this is one of the few rare instances where I actually prefer the second one over the first one. So Spider-Man 2, is better than the first Spider-Man. I like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, but Spider-Man 2 is arguably better than the first one.
Yeah.
And Guillermo del Toro has a hand in this one as well, and you can tell his style.
Oh, very much.
Storytelling, which I think adds, again, another layer. I keep using that word, but adds another layer to this movie, which makes it better than the first one with his inputs.
Guillermo del Toro likes to use, or he is a person that likes to separate special effects, digital effects, and but he also will use, or he goes heavy on both. He goes heavy on digital as well as practical. When you're seeing or when you're seeing some of the Reapers with their mouths open, some of that's practical, but he'll also do digital when he knows he has to.
Yes. Because there's some instances where it's like you will need digital effects because sometimes it cannot be achieved via practical effects. I think practical effects are arguably the superior effects in movies, but I will agree that there are times when you do have to go digital because it's not feasible with depending on what you want to do. But I love Guillermo del Toro as a storyteller and as a director. His Spanish language films are very good.
Yeah.
He did The Orphanage. He did.
Didn't he do Pan's Labyrinth?
I think he did Pan's Labyrinth. There's another one. What is it called? I can't remember. It's basically set at this kind of an orphanage or something like that in the middle of this.
Of Water.
No,
Did he do Shape of Water?
Yeah, I think he did Shape of Water. But there's like an unexploded ordnance.
Oh.
Which kind of like ties into the theme of this movie. God damn. I think it's called The Devil's Backbone. I think it's called The Devil's Backbone, but basically it's like another one of his Spanish language movies. But I love like his those movies for like I appreciate him, like I love him as a director, his storytelling.
I'm gonna have to take a look at Pan's Labyrinth. I've heard of Pan's Labyrinth. I've never watched it.
It's not exactly an upper.
Okay, so it's a downer. So I'm gonna have to make sure that I'm really.
But at the same time, I can't say anything without spoiling the ending. I can't say anything.
Yeah.
But it is very good. It is very good.
Okay.
But when you watch it, I guess let me know, and I'll tell you why I say it's not exactly an upper, but it's not exactly not an upper. Like, it's not exactly an upper, but it's depending on how you look at it, it can be.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, believe me, I love psychological movies.
Yeah.
Psychological movies are the shit for me, man.
It
comes to me naturally.
Storytelling is out there.
Yeah. I mean, Guillermo del Toro, you can also tell, folks, he had a hand in the Hobbit Unexpected Journey, because look at Goblin Town.
Mm-hmm.
That's straight out of Guillermo del Toro's mind.
Yes. Which is as mediocre as I think the Hobbit trilogy is. The first movie actually in tone felt closer to the book, and then it just went downhill from second one on.
They also had songs from the movie or from the book.
Well, yeah, like the songs were good. The songs are good, but in terms of tone, in terms of it was like closer to the tone of the book, and like because they stretched it out to a trilogy, I'm bored stiff.
Yeah. But back to Blade.
Okay, back to Blade 2. All right, so basically, they figure out that the only definite way of killing these creatures is sunlight. UV light, basically, or harnessed UV light, because they can't exactly just wait for the sun to come out all the time. So they have to basically go when the sun's out, when they know that the Reapers are going to be in their little hideouts, their subterranean hideout, their lair, and take them out once and for all in one go. Yes, he also did Hellboy, so you can tell his style.
Yeah. Now, I love the God damn it, what's the thumbnail, Mara?
Yeah.
Although I would have almost, or if it was me, folks, I would have literally probably, because I wanted to make a laugh, done the thumbnail with, they want us to put spray on suck puppies nut juice.
I know. I try to keep the quotes like short, basically.
Yeah.
So I was like keep your enemies closer, which is kind of the theme of this.
Oh, very much.
One of the overarching themes in Blade 2 is keep your enemies closer.
But
the original quote I wanted to use was like is the enemy of my enemy my friend or my enemy?
Yeah.
So when he's asking him that, it's like, are you like, it's like, which is a phrase that I've come to like think is cringe for the most part. Yeah. The older I get, because I'm like, it doesn't make sense if you think about it. The only thing like that makes you is co-belligerence at that point. Because unless like your attitudes towards each other change drastically, at that point it's like I'm just siding with you now because I hate this person also, but that doesn't mean we're friends. You're still my enemy. Yeah, you're still my enemy. So you're co-belligerents, pretty much. But I like that line. It's like, it's like, are you like, I hate vampires, you hate vampires.
We want the same thing, Blade.
Yeah. So
yeah,
like,
but
when he's like talking to him, when he's trying to get into his head a little bit. Which is again like another aspect of the Nomak that I appreciate, because he plays a little bit of mind games.
Mm-hmm.
He's very intelligent. So he's trying to get into Blade's head.
Yeah.
So,
And that's
yeah.
another thing that I like about there are certain aspects to or certain interpretations of vampirism, folks, where the more generationally separated from the pure strain is the more they de-evolve. Which Helsing Ultimate, ghoul or vampires can only be turned. I hate this rule. If they're virgins. If they're not virgins, they're turned into ghouls. So it's like, how the fuck does that work?
I've never heard that. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, you are damn right it doesn't. And
It does not make any sense.
But it was but man, did they fucking go heavy with the anti-Catholic humor in the abridged version.
Yeah.
Team 4-star, folks. Gotta love them.
In terms of who wrote Blade 2, David S. Goyer was connected to this. All cast and crew. Writer David S. Goyer. He was written by. Guillermo del Toro directed. And David S. Goyer was the one who originally wanted to use Morbius as a villain in the second one, but was unable to because of what Marvel did. So, I wish wish it wasn't so dark, but basically they have to go into the lair.
Yeah.
And we gotta skip over some parts because this scene is also another kind of long one. It can't show everything.
Yeah, I love that.
But I like this
by
part.
the way, Blade. Yeah.
I like this part. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It's like, by the way, Blade, did I mention the bomb lever stuck? Fucking Reinhardt, man.
I was saying like he bases his character Ron Perlman. He is a fucking asshat in real life, but he's a good actor, and he based his character off of a neo-Nazi. So I'm like, it really does play well into the fact that his character is an asshole towards Blade, and full on racist because of the question he asks him when they first meet him. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. Chat that the line where Ron Perlman asks Blade, where Reinhardt asks Blade, do you blush?
Yeah,
is, according to Wesley Snipes, something that he was actually asked in real life.
Yeah,
and when the script was being penned for Blade 2 and the character of Reinhardt was being developed, Snipes requested that be part of the script as part of Reinhardt's character, so to add to the love, that antagonism between the characters.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying Snipes is a liar, but if he is to be believed, that actually happened to him in real life. So that kind of plays out in this movie, which I think works because of adds that to Ron Perlman's character. So basically, he's an asshole. He doesn't care. If Blade could die and he could give a shit. He couldn't give a shit.
Like, our whole fucking purpose is to kill this bastard, so why not let him die?
Yeah.
But by the way, I need to clarify something, folks. Mara said that Ron Perlman is an asshat. That's an insult to asshats. That man is fucking twisted beyond shit, man. He literally writes his messages in his own fucking fecal matter.
Yeah, so
that's how fucked up Ron Perlman is.
One other role that he does a good job in, that's only because physically Ron Perlman does look like one, is a Neanderthal in Quest for Fire.
Yeah. I mean, he is a great actor. The man is a fucking brilliant actor. But real life, that man fucking went off the deep end years ago.
He has basically TDS out the wazoo, pretty much.
Among
other things, among other problems.
Among other things, but
much. It's like he.
Again,
I don't like getting into politics, but dear God, just can you release your hate boner for once? It's been 4 years since the election happened. I think we can move on a little bit.
Let it go, dude.
But anyway, I love this part because Assad was pulled under by these Reapers. And another character that I wish there had been a little bit more to his character. He seemed like he could be cool, but again, it's they were pretty much put there for basically bait.
Yep.
Okay, you're the victim. You're the victim. You're the victim. Pretty much, it's you're not much to the character.
Blade even says it. He's like, "What happens at daylight? Hey, Blade, I'm talking to you. We hunt in broad daylight. Look, I don't expect everybody to frickin' survive tomorrow.
And that's where it's like I wish these characters had a bit more to them, because when Blade says that line, like, this is my gripe, when Blade says that line, there should be a holy shit moment. It's like which ones aren't going to make it? Like, I'm having a little bit of a connection to these characters because you're supposed to kind of care about them in a sense, or at least a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, remember, you're my enemy.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if you die, but you are, and I'm not going to freaking hold your hand. If you guys been hunting me, it's self-admitted, fucking man up.
Yeah.
Show your skill against a bigger enemy.
Yeah.
Show me you can survive in daylight and adapt.
Yeah.
I don't expect you to live because, well, honestly, you're a bunch of fucking suckheads. But, you know.
But he tells that to Assad, and I'm like, okay, this is where I would have wanted just a bit more to these characters. But this is where Assad bites it. Like, I can't play the entire part of this because, like, the nightclub scene, there's different scenes to it. So it's basically a long stretch of the plot. Again, one criticism I have of this part is we don't see Donnie Yen's character die. He dies off screen to Lighthammer, whom we failed to mention was bitten by a Reaper during the nightclub scene and didn't mention it to anyone. So when they go down to the Reaper's lair, he turns and kills Snowman off screen. That's my gripe, pretty much. I would have liked to have seen maybe Snowman put up a fight against Lighthammer, but ultimately fail because Lighthammer is now a Reaper and is stronger. As a result than Snowman, but we don't see it. We just see Verlaine come up on them, pretty much see it going down, and I do kind of like how she takes both herself and Lighthammer out. It kind of is morbidly romantic in a way. But like she knows, like, it's like she's going to die either way. She can't kill him. She couldn't kill him, like, really, because she loves him.
I like how she shoots him, and he mutters something in a foreign language, but it almost sounds like he's saying "too late."
Yeah, something like that. Like something like that.
Like, too
and she realizes that, like, I'm going to die anyway. So, and this is going to be the only way to kind of save the both of us.
Yeah.
And she basically kills herself and Lighthammer at the same time when she, moves the manhole cover and lets the sunlight in.
Another thing that they don't really, or that we haven't really touched on, is that the relationship between Nyssa and Blade. Nyssa gets under his skin because she's willing to accept him to the point, but she also does acknowledge him as an enemy.
Yeah.
But she also tells him, it's like, look, the way that, or I've made peace with what I am a long time ago. You hate yourself.
Yeah.
Or shooting up that serum. And he actually puts his serum down. He's ready to shoot up, but then he's like, fuck it. And it's a great shot. And it's a great thing because also at the end of this sequence, when he lets loose the big popper or the big bomb with the UV bomb, he saves her life because she's been burnt pretty badly. Yeah. Yeah.
This is like the part I love because he tells her to go. He's like, give me the basically when he says, I'll track them to me, they're using a pheromone they extracted from the autopsied Reaper to draw the other Reapers to them.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll track them to me, do what I tell you, get out of here.
Yep. And I love that.
So, I love that he counts down basically every time. 4.
Another great line from earlier when he drops another UV one.
Yeah.
You obviously don't know whom you are fucking with.
Yes.
And I just love it's just a small little whip down on the.
And I love the touches in like the production.
Yeah.
He's like you see underneath the water, he has a sword and he's counting down from 10 to 1, 2.
Yeah, he puts the sword down there like a hook, so to speak, because they all keyed right to his sword.
Yes, 1. And goes off, and they come up. I love this. Boom, 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 boom.
Yep. It's like 4 or 5 different Reapers he just took out there.
Yeah. I wonder if anyone has ever remade Blade's sword. I'm pretty sure you could find a replica
Yes.
somewhere. You could like find a replica of his sword.
There's a YouTube channel that, or they did requests for all sorts of different movie swords and whatnot. They even did the Soul Reaver sword, which is pretty cool. But yeah, they did they did Blade's sword, the acid etch, and the titanium blade with the hooks that come out and whatnot, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I can't remember what they renamed their channel to a different channel afterward, but I can't remember what it's called. Good stuff, though.
So basically, like, she's injured, and he lets her drink his blood to heal herself.
Yep, Soul Assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Omni Reforge.
And then we're gonna kind of skip over parts, basically, but like basically, this scene is the earlier we didn't mention what like a conversation between Whistler and Blade, and where Whistler asked him like, "What do you really think?" It's like, they're gonna fuck us over the first chance they get.
Yeah.
And this is pretty much where that they're gonna fuck us over the first chance they get happens after this part. But it also happens after around that Whistler is kind of, you think Whistler is caught by Nomak and he's gonna die, but Nomak's like, I'm gonna let you live. I'm gonna let you live because you need to deliver a message. Yeah, you will survive it because you like you're gonna deliver a message. Like, I'm gonna tell you what's actually happening.
Yep.
So basically, he lets Whistler survive because Whistler is basically the bearer of that information. I don't think they really set them up as a couple, but more like they have developed a mutual understanding of each other.
However, there is, or that final scene where she finally bites it, there is a chance, there was potential that they could have become something.
Yeah, but I don't think they were like necessarily setting it up. I think by the end, it was more of a mutual respect and almost like an understanding.
Well, the way that I see it, I do believe that there was potential for a romance because he slices his wrist open for her.
Mm-hmm.
That is, or the blood drinking thing,
potential,
folks.
But I don't think they were specifically setting it up in that regard. I was saying, like,
may not have been setting
did they set it up? I don't think they were specifically setting it up. There's potential, but I think like overall, it's like
they knew she was gonna bite it.
Yeah. Overall, like I like more like an understanding develops between them.
Yeah, because it's like, or she cares for him, he cares for her. However, there is the Romeo Juliet sort of kind of thing or kind of bit there because they are on opposite sides.
Yeah,
they can't, or even if they wanted to, they couldn't.
No,
because Blade's sole purpose is killing them.
Yeah, would have felt forced, and like if they were going to set it up, I feel like they would have like began setting it up earlier in the film, and I think like it really was just like basically them coming to that understanding of each other.
Yeah,
he's understanding where she's coming from, she's understanding where he's coming from, sort of situation.
Yeah,
that's about it. But he saves her. He saves her. Whistler's allowed to go, allowed to stay alive from Nomak, and then basically, like I said, the vampires fuck them over the first chance they get, and this is where we find out the big twist,
the big
twist, and why they had to go after why they had to go up to Reapers, why Nomak in particular had to be taken down, and that's because, Daddy Damaskino was monkeying around with genetics.
Yep. The next step was obviously genetic engineering.
Yeah. So
DNA.
So technically, Nomak is his son.
Mm-hmm.
Technically.
Begotten from my own flesh, he says.
Yes. Yeah.
However hard and cold that flesh is.
Yeah.
Because he's literally, or I'm guessing he's one of, considering Drake comes around in the next one, I'm pretty sure Damaskinos was probably one of the first that Drake actually turned. Or I'm willing to bet that Damaskinos may have been turned by Drake.
Yeah, it's implied that he's incredibly old.
Yes.
And he looks incredibly old, pretty much.
Either that or he was
Nomak
born...
is basically his... When I say genetic offspring, I mean like from his DNA created.
Strain cast, so to speak.
Yes. Whereas Nisa is his birth daughter, by like,
Yeah.
basically how vampires populate. Nomak was created.
They can reproduce, this universe they can reproduce. So actually,
Because it's a
I
virus.
will
It's
amend
not,
it.
like normal
Yeah.
vampirism. It's a virus. So essentially, it's
Yeah.
kind of like how other movies
Cancer
have
with
treated it.
purpose.
Yeah.
As Damaskino says.
Yes.
But I will amend my assessment. Damaskinos, I'm willing to bet, was born from somebody that Drake may have turned.
I'm saying that he's very old.
Because he is a pureblood.
Yes. So, no, because Nomak has the ring. The family crest ring. Which he
And that
gives to
actually gets
Whistler
her-
as
yeah.
proof.
And that actually gets her to turn on or be
Yeah.
like, or
On her
turn
own
on
father.
her father.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not turned on.
No.
Oops.
So she basically turns on him because this is like basically the grand plan reveal essentially, and that he's trying to create the perfect race of vampires, and to do that, he wants to study Blade's blood because he's looking at Blade, he's looking at this Dhampir, and he's like, you were created essentially because your mom was bitten, and somehow all these strengths of vampires got passed on to you, but none of our weaknesses. The only weakness he has, which is acknowledged again at the beginning of the movie, was the fact that Blade still feels the thirst. He holds it at bay with the serum, but he still feels the thirst. Otherwise, garlic has no effect, sunlight has no effect, obviously, and silver has no effect because he uses all those against vampires. But he has quick reflexes like vampires. He's strong. Underworld vamps can't have children. Yeah, I'm saying they treat it like a virus. Treat it more like a virus than basically actual vampire lore.
Genetics is basically, or it's a genetic thing.
So, if the Blade felt the vampires have been around for millennia at this point when basically, if you think about it.
There was a Blade series that answers that question.
Mm-hmm. So
I believe there was 12 houses.
Now I have a question: did they pick the number 12 because of its allusion to the 12 disciples?
I don't know, okay. But all I know is that they did a bunch, or it only lasted one season, and it even went into the Bad Bloods or the ones that Blade turned.
Okay,
they brought in those ones as well. Although those ones were never allowed in any house because they were created by Blade. Mm-hmm. They could never, or they're essentially exiles from the vampire or from the vampires' hierarchy.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm again skipping over parts because we also this is another twist that happens in this scene that we find out that Scud is a familiar. He's one of Damaskino's familiars. And he basically thought that he's pulled one over on Blade. And this is a scene I like. It sucks the kind of Scud had to go. But I do like the scene. Because, alright, so what we kind of glossed over is basically at the when Blade is fighting Reinhardt, Blade sticks a bomb in the back of Reinhardt's head. That if it's at all messed with by someone else, it'll inject silver nitrate into Reinhardt. And Blade also walks around with the trigger.
Yeah.
To set it off.
You push an asshole.
Yes. Yes.
I love that because he's like, you better curb your dog or we'll do it for you. Oh,
yeah.
Keep pushing, asshole.
Asshole. Yes.
Yeah,
yeah, so I like it. It goes back to again, it's the scene in the nightclubs I also like, where it's Reinhardt's looking at him, it's it would be so easy, and he points his gun. You see the red laser on Blade, and then you see Blade has
hand down, and
his laser on Reinhardt. And Chupa's taps Reinhardt on the shoulder. He's he's got you.
He's got you. And then it looks back at Blade, and Blade smiles at him.
Yeah.
He's like,
and he mouths, "Fuck you."
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck you."
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, he just fucks with him so much. I love it. I also like what fucking Whistler Soul Assassin. He's like, I was beginning to like him.
Yeah, because this is what again.
Because he tells him it was a dud.
Yeah.
blade.
Like,
It was never meant to explode. It's just to make you look like you were in control.
Real, yeah. It's like two things. One, I was on you the first, you were turned, pretty much. Like when he says, like, I was on to you from pretty much from the get go. So it's like I knew the whole fucking time. And two, it's not a dud.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I was beginning to like him. Yeah, think about that, man. Two things.
I like this.
Yeah.
It's not a dud. I just want to play it as a guy.
Yeah.
Ah, great.
Boom.
I think that's one of the most epic deaths, even for a side character in a movie. Where like he is gone.
Yep. He is just nothing but mist.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's not a dud.
Yeah, it's not a dud.
Yes.
And it's enough explosive to fucking turn him into paste, man. It's like, holy shit, how much did they pack into that? What, they mix Semtex with C4? Fuck. With silver nitrate, because he did say that there was silver nitrate into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
rigged to go off if anyone tampers with
we're gonna kind of skip over the Reinhardt Blade fight. Like it's good.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's like kind of short. And
I
really
love how
like
he Wile E. Coyotes his ass.
Yeah, he pretty much does. Which it's fine. It's fine. But I think what
the fight with the guards.
What's good about it is the fact that basically it's kind of like with the first movie where like Blade takes in real blood. So now he's actually at his peak strength. And
he goes into a fucking vat of blood where he feeds on Karen in the first one. Karen.
Yeah.
But in this one, he's put into a fucking vat of or a bath of blood, man.
Yeah.
So he is like, or where in the first one, he's brought back up to a small little boost. This one, he's fucking supercharged.
Yes.
And I love that because they actually really do sell the strength of him in these ones where he's like cracking the floor with his strength.
Yeah. Which it's short and it's like it's like the fight is with Reinhardt. I do appreciate that like they show again how strong he is because he stops the sword and he holds it right there and like you even see the look on Reinhardt's face like what the fuck.
It's like
like now like it's like yeah. So he basically takes out Reinhardt very easily because the real fight I don't mind that because the real fight is actually between Blade and Nomak. Like Nomak is the actual threat. Reinhardt is basically an asshole, but Nomak is the actual threat.
And even Nomak freaking charges up on or freaking charges up because he feeds on like a bunch of or Damaskinos' entire freaking entourage of defense.
Yes, and even like he even kills his father and Nisa actually like sacrifices herself because like close the circle.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like she's like it's like she doesn't even fight Nomak because she's turned on her father. Yeah. She feels betrayed. She kind of understands where Nomak is coming from. And she's like, she gives herself to Nomak.
Yeah.
He feeds on her a bit, but like not as much as the father. Like, his anger is directed towards the father.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if Nomak would have done anything to Nisa necessarily if she hadn't offered herself to him, because his target was his father.
Yeah, and she says, she's like, finish him off, and then let's end it here.
Yeah,
and he's like, you were his favorite, so he actually is willing to turn her, but he rips out his throat because he's like, I spared you my fate, you will die.
Mm-hmm.
And he freaking just petrifies, which is cool.
Yeah. So it kind of like goes, I think, to like what Soul Assassin said, like it shows how old, like possibly how old he is. Like he doesn't just evaporate and like basically like cinder and ash. Basically, he just dies. So it kind of like speaks to how old he possibly is. Or he very much wanted revenge against his father. Nisa, like I said, he was willing to turn her. But like it's like I kind of get the impression from his character that like it could have gone either way at that point.
Yeah.
with it, like with those characters, because she wasn't his target. Yes, she was Daddy's favorite essentially, but she really wasn't the target. His tunnel vision was purely on Damaskino the entire time. So like he's gotten his vengeance, and like that basically it's just Nyssa kind of like almost, I would say, if without reading the script, without like being in part of like in the meetings, like hers was kind of like almost penance.
Yeah.
Like she's giving herself an almost penance
Because
of what he went through.
Yeah, she realizes that her father doesn't give a fuck about him.
Yeah.
Or her. Because he says it. It's like, these blood ties mean nothing to me when measured against the ascendancy of our race.
Yeah.
Who do you think God favors in the web, the spider or the fly?
Pretty much.
And he says this while choking while choking her too. And his fingers were just radically bent.
So Nomak feeds on Nyssa, and that's like, and this right here, I was reading the trivia. The symbolism for that, like when it falls on the side, like this right here, right here, looks like a double helix.
Yep. I was about to say that was very DNA-ish.
Yes, it's like actually supposed to resemble a double helix, especially when it goes on its side. When that gets knocked over. Yeah. And also, what I forgot to mention as part of trivia, when they're fighting in the church earlier, and on one of the stained glass windows is the Doctor Strange's eye.
The Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah, the symbol. Because Guillermo del Toro at one point very much wanted to do a Doctor Strange movie, which obviously never happened. But that's why he added that image in the movies, because that's like if he was going to do another Marvel movie, he wanted to do another wanted to do Doctor Strange one. So
if Guillermo del Toro did a Doctor Strange movie, holy fuck!
I think it would be better than I'm not saying definitely it would have been better, but I think it would have been better than what we got.
It would, or the first one was an acid trip. A Guillermo del Toro freaking Doctor Strange would have been an acid trip times infinity, man.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. I can almost imagine him doing a Doctor Strange one.
But again, obviously never materialized.
Sweet.
So when you're in the chat, if you're watching this movie again, that scene in the church, one of the windows has that Doctor Strange, the eye on it.
Yeah.
Raimi definitely got neutered by Disney. He definitely got neutered because he also got screwed over with the third Spider-Man movie, but we're not going to get into that. But he definitely got neutered by Disney.
Doctor Strange 2 had a couple of good shots in it because they were definitely Raimi style. But overall, that movie fucking sucked.
Pretty much.
But back to this, he went heavy with this fight with the digital effects. I mean, the fight between Blade and Nyssa in Blade's compound and the fight here, very much digital because he wanted them comic book fight wise. He didn't want to deal with the physical limitations in practicality.
Which kind of makes sense given the fact that you have a Dhampir and a vampire fighting, so it's not exactly going to look like a normal fight with their abilities. So I understand, especially like again with Nomak and Blade fighting, if you have a vampire and a Dhampir fighting, so it's not going to be normal humans fighting.
These are busting up marble floors, marble pillars, freaking smashing into your chest and causing you to basically hemorrhage blood through your mouth.
So I don't think it was too much CGI. I don't think the CGI was as good as it could have been for what he wanted to do.
Yeah,
it's tight in some areas. That's like it's like over 20 years old.
Yeah.
So
in other areas,
the effects weren't exactly that good.
They're aged.
Back then. Yeah,
they're aged. But I do like one shot in this fight where he's doing the spinning and hitting him, and then he sticks his hand out like this with a feint, and then just uppercuts him.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, man.
Like, I say that if I again YouTube and the fucking bots from studios, I'd love to play these like scenes.
Yeah.
Kind of in their entirety, so people can see the fights.
New Line would slaughter us, folks, if we played it.
Because this fight here again, like I said, was better than what we got in the first Blade.
Oh yeah.
So
You had Donnie Yen as the freaking choreographer.
yeah.
But I
And
love
this.
this.
This fight actually lasts longer than the one between Frosts because again, like
Yeah.
Nomak is an actual challenge to Blade.
Yeah. And there's no freaking EDTA to save his ass.
No, and he actually pulls the blade out to stab Nomak, and how and I love like he pulls it off at
Snaps it here, and he just shoves his own self backward to push the blade and pulls the blade out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
I don't know about
man.
Rumble. I have to see if I have enough followers on Rumble to dual stream there. Because I have a Rumble account. I think I hit 100, but I have to figure out how to stream there.
I gotta figure out Rumble, man, because I also don't like Rumble because fucking Rumble fucked my channel over because they kind of stopped mirroring my shit. And it's like, what the fuck?
I actually have to check. I haven't been checked my Rumble recently because it's supposed to mirror my stuff, and I haven't.
Yeah.
I was primarily doing live streams, but
You expect them to do that, and then
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, we could only get like 800 of your videos. It's like I got 1,600 videos, you fuckers.
Yeah. So, and I love. I wish I could show the entire fight, but Blade wins because he sticks the blade
up through his
up
armpit.
through right there.
Yeah.
And then angles it past the defense.
The bone. Yeah.
There, and gets the heart.
Yeah.
And I love the line Nomak has before he dies.
It hurts no more.
Yeah. Like he starts saying it hurts, and then there's a pause, but then it hurts no more. Like now,
and then he actually shoves it even further in.
Yeah, like he's at peace.
Yeah,
which kind of tells me. I mean, again, I'm reading into like the dialogue because it's, like I'm not saying this is a bad thing without any exposition, but at the same time, it's like he was like fighting his own demons literally.
Yep.
The entire time because of like how he was created, what he is.
Yeah.
His father shunning him, which led to basically his hatred of like the species.
He did, Trey. That's the way I figure it. He wants to die, but he doesn't want to die.
Yeah.
He wanted to be cured. However, he accepted what he was at the end because he realized, fuck, my father's not going to cure me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say give him another watch. Because we talked the first movie last week. Now we're talking the second movie as part of the 1s and 2s. And this is why I appreciate him more as an antagonist in this movie than Deacon Frost. Because he's more of a rounded character. When this happens, he's now accepted his fate. And he's almost at peace. Like I say, he's arguably at peace because he no longer hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts no more. So he was fighting his own demons the entire time that he was fighting internally, that he was fighting the vampires externally. So he's there's more to this character that I would love. If his character survived, I would have loved to have seen. But again, couldn't exactly keep his character past the second movie because of the fact of the Reaper strain.
Yeah.
And so forth. So his character had to die. But I do love Luke Goss's portrayal of this character and this character as a villain, as an antagonist. I wouldn't call him a villain necessarily. I wouldn't call him a villain because there is a sympathy to his character.
He's a victim/villain.
Yeah, I'm saying he's
as much of a villain as much, or he's as much as a victim as much as villain.
Yes, and he's one way a sympathetic villain is done right, where he's a villain, but you still sympathize with.
He's one that you can sympathize
with how he came to be and why he's doing what he's doing, but he's still a villain.
Yeah,
he's still a villain. Yeah, they're the actual villains. Yeah. So but anyway, and this is the scene that we were bringing up where it's possibly setting up. She's going to turn. Nisa's going to turn. She's and she says she wants to die as she is. She wants to die as a vampire. She doesn't want to die as a Reaper.
And she wanted to see the sun.
Yes. So
And it's a great. It got me crying, man.
because this is what, again, this is like word kind of implies that there could have been a possible romance, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah,
But like, she sees the sun because it's like, like sunrise, and it's just like that peaceful look. Like, it's like she does not scream, like she's not screaming. She's also accepted her fate,
yeah,
and like they understand each other.
yeah,
They understand each other.
yeah.
So, hey, Manila, I saw your comment earlier, but then I didn't really see. I don't think then like you deleted it on the YouTube side, but anyway. So like she's at peace. They understand each other.
I mean, yes, the brushstroke of his finger against her cheek, that is very suggestive of a romantic, but it's like he can't exactly give her a kiss. you
No.
know?
And that's essentially where the movie ends.
With that one guy that he left from the beginning of the
Oh
movie,
yeah,
which
like,
we
that
skipped
guy,
him.
Let's talk about him real fast, because he's kind of like the
Couple of razor blades and some freaking
tissues, because basically
tissues, just in case.
at the beginning of the movie when he was tracking down Whistler, he's basically killing this group of vampires, and he lets this one live.
Catch you
And
later.
he's like, you're gonna basically he's gonna show he uses him to show him where they're keeping Whistler.
Yeah.
And
I'll consider you a loose end.
yes, you do this for me, and I'll consider you a loose end. To catch you later. And then it ends with this vampire going into this basically this peep show. All right, for one of a better way of putting it, basically.
Wank booth.
Well, I'm saying I'm trying to be civil, so my channel doesn't get yeeted. So my channel doesn't get yeeted, but yeah, it's essentially that, pretty much. And so he's got his tissues ready, he's got his razor blades ready, and he's like, the women are live, right? And last time I checked.
Last time I checked.
And then the lights come on, and it's not a woman, it's Blade, and he's doing this. He's like, "Oh, do you think I forgot about you?" And just gets the guy basically. That's where a little bit of the humor is at the end. I'm trying not to get my channel yeeted. That's why I'm trying to keep it. Because there's certain things I don't care if I say. I don't care if YouTube hears me. But then there's other things where I'm like, I've taken too long building up this channel. I'm not going to get it yeeted or something so fucking stupid. And then the credits. But this is essentially where the plot ends, pretty much. That was the loose end from earlier in the movie. This is where essentially the plot ends. The Damaskino line is no more. All right, the Damaskino line is no more. The lawyer has been killed. The Reapers have been killed. And that's the end of Blade 2. I will not say that. I know you gave me the pass. Trey, but I'm not going to say it. But anyway. But that is Blade 2. We talked about Blade last week. Blade 2 this week. Tomorrow I'll be on Orange Chat's channel talking Demolition Man. Because it's a Wesley Snipes kind of a theme for the 1s and 2s and the singles. Last week, if you're new to my channel, check out Orange Chat's channel for the singles. And other streams, because last week we talked Murder at 1600. I'm not chicken, I'm smart. There's a difference. Anyway. So, shut up, Jacob Watts. Anyway, what was I going to say? Okay, all right, so before I do my outro, Orange Chat, let everybody know where they can find you and the streams you have coming up and all that fun stuff.
So tomorrow is Demolition Man with Mara on my channel at 8 p.m. or 8:30 rather. Friday is Orange Chat Uncensored. It's Orange Chat Uncensored is where I give my more political views. And believe me, there was some news that dropped this week that is going to be the main topic. Saturday, I might do a Star Wars themed stream because it's going to be basically a celebration of Star Wars because it's May 25th. Or I might do that on Sunday with Nerd with the Cigar because I work better talking with other people, playing off of their thoughts and whatnot too. But Monday or Tuesday will be theme stream of giving my thoughts on Disney interpretation of Star Wars. And then Tuesday night is Barroom Podcast on Society Reviews channel, where we just got past our first 100 episodes.
Okay. Yes, and obviously you can find me here. I will be getting back to making videos, especially since now we have a definite release date for Rings of Power. So I'll be covering the news leading up to the release of that shit show, because I was one of the, while I did not give Amazon any clicks, I was one of the 37% of schmucks who finished season 1 and gave my thoughts on the travesty that was season 1. So I'll be watching season 2. I will be sailing the high seas, like first season, but I'll be still talking about it because, well, you still have people thinking it's at all based on what Tolkien wrote. You still have people like buying into that shit. You still have people trying to peddle that shit. And I, for one, will be the one to correct that shit. I don't know if I'll exactly do spoiler-free reviews because, like I said, only 37% actually finished season 1. So I doubt very seriously anyone's going to care my spoiler-free thoughts for season 2. So what I might do is watch the episode the day before, like the Friday, and then Saturday do just a live spoiler breakdown stream talking about like the major fuck ups in each episode that they do in terms of like lore breaking, poor storytelling, what have you. In season 2.
And I'm keeping up to date with the ratio currently. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're up to past 500. I thought they were going to get the 500K today, but it turned out that they actually reached it before today, which was nice. It's like, holy shit, they actually, people are making their thoughts known, folks.
So like out a week, hit 500K dislikes. So it's like basically a 5-to-1 ratio still. Dislikes to likes, essentially.
Yeah. 5-to-1.
Yep. So that's if the Crow reboot doesn't drain my soul. I'm not really, I don't even want to sail the high seas for that. I'm
not even gonna watch that. I
know.
I was on the fence, but then it's like I looked at it. It's like
I saw the trailer and I was like, I'm noping the fuck out of that one.
Yeah,
I don't think I can.
Not to mention, a jackass producer of the original kind of put a bad taste in my mouth because he freaking defended Alec Baldwin. It's like, dude. You freaking ignorant shit. But anyway.
Yeah, like you can spoil it in chat, Trey. Like, you know, like you can do that. Like one of my streams, just spoil the shit out of it. Because I'm not planning on watching it. Especially since like Steph is still making me watch Wicked around Thanksgiving. So my Thanksgiving is going to be spoiled. Essentially. But yeah, I'm not watching the Crow reboots. If I'm going to suffer that month, I'm just suffering starting with Rings of Power, especially because they're releasing the first 3 episodes, like just dropping all 3 at once. So that's going to be a suffering and a half.
I'm keeping my promise to Tolkien's memory. I won't watch the entirety of any episode.
Mm-hmm. So I only
can't
started
stop
watching,
the clips.
Yeah,
I can't stop the clips, but
so I wasn't going to watch it, but then when people started denigrating Tolkien and then just pushing the lies, I was like, like someone has to correct this. Someone has to. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll watch it. And I like pointed out everything they like lore breaking they did. Yes, but anyway, so Thursday, obviously, I'll be like tomorrow. I'll be on Orange Chat channel talking Demolition Man. Friday, I am planning on going live Friday evening, probably around 8:30 p.m. Eastern on my Kick channel. It's again up here. Thank you, Trey, for dropping it. I am planning on going live, playing probably some X-Defiant, going live for about a couple hours. Because the next day, I'm going to my niece's birthday party. She turns 4. Nice. Yeah, she turns 4, and the theme is Dino 4. So I'll be gone for about late morning to early afternoon. But I'll be doing a watch party of the King of the Ring wrestling event once it's finally done on and watching the replay on Peacock Saturday evening, and Saturday early evening or so, and then maybe Saturday, not stream, but if you're part of my Discord, I might just jump into the gaming chat and just like share my screen playing some XDefiant. So if anyone's available and you want to jump in and play, you can do that. But I'm not really planning on streaming Saturday because of doing the watch party and then the birthday party. And then Sunday, I should be playing D&D again, which reminds me, I have like 2 D&D stories to tell you guys. Because I didn't stream that one week, and then... Yeah, so offline gaming. Yeah, pretty much offline gaming, because I'm not going to feel like streaming after the watch party. So maybe I'll tell the D&D stories during the offline gaming. And then Saturday evening, around 8:30 p.m. Eastern, will be Talk Nerdy to Us, the stream I do with My Nerdy Home. We switch off each other's channels, and this coming Sunday it'll be on her channel because it was on my channel last week, so it'll be on her channel this coming Sunday, around 8:30 p.m. Eastern or so. And I'll remind her because I love her, but she's not the best at remembering anything. Pretty much, she has the memory of a goldfish. Yeah. So I'll remind her, but yeah, Talking to Us should be on her channel this coming Sunday evening, and then back to streaming schedule and so forth, beginning Monday. So take care, everyone. On that long ass outro, have a good rest of your day or evening wherever you are in the world, and we will see you all tomorrow for some Demolition Man, aka one of the most prophetic fucking movies ever made.
Oh,
Peace.
yes, folks. Believe me, I got a list.
Yep.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.